over a period of time, I became one of the medians to communicate with the spirit world and take guidance to help the mankind. Basically, when I am in a process of channelizing with the spirit world, the messages come through my subconscious mind. The median are my fingers, and everything is handwritten. There is a loop in D.
Loop in D.
D.
The letter D, delta.
Delta. If there is a loop in D in your cursive writing, you will be highly emotional.
Is there free will in the world?
When I asked them, they said yes. Always tell people don't test the soul. I clearly got a message from Baba that India and China are going to be really powerful where artificial intelligence is concerned, and they'll rule the world. I'm really scared that you will experience so many earthquakes this year which you have never ever seen in the past. And I see a lot of problems taking place in Bangladesh, internal as well as external.
Okay. How can people protect themselves? How can people save themselves?
See, I got a message from Meherbaba is you need to turn towards spirituality.
Welcome to InnoTalks, Dr. Pande. Thank you for accepting our invite and coming over to the studio today to discuss graphology and autowriting. I wanted to tell you a little bit more about InnoTalks. So, we started InnoTalks to call incredible personalities from different walks of life, people who have made an impact either on me personally or in general. We have heard a lot about their work, and which obviously made us curious. The purpose is to have a deep, engaging conversation about what you do, some interesting stories from your areas of work, and also try and understand how it can help our listeners to grow in their life also. So, welcome once again.
Thank you, Tejas.
Can you introduce yourself? Can you tell us about how you grew up? When did you first find graphology? When did you decide it was your career? And how did you get into this profession of yours?
Okay, let me start this way. I was in the 9th standard when I heard about graphology. That word really fell on my ears. I really got curious. I thought, does handwriting speak so much about a person? Can we identify? That happened, might be just for 5 or 10 minutes, and then I moved on. I completed my graduation, my post graduation. After I finished my graduation, I took up a job in an accounts department in a very well known pharmaceutical company. That was in the year 2001. Just 3 months after that, I was walking down a lane. It was a Sunday afternoon, I clearly remember, and I was going to a restaurant. My friend had invited me for a lunch. I was continuously thinking the work which I am doing, I'm really not enjoying that. That is not my career. This was the first thought I had. So I said, what really could be my career? As I reached the restaurant, I heard two people discussing about handwriting analysis. That you can find out certain things from handwriting, and these are the traits. You can really understand a psychology or a thought process of a person. I really got curious. I wanted to understand more about this science from them. So it happens, I just poked my nose and I said, I'm listening to you all since 10 to 15 minutes and I'm really interested. So those two gentlemen were really good at heart. They made me sit next to them. A young chap, 21-year-old. So he said, what exactly are you looking at? I said, I wanted to understand and I am feeling that this is my career. So there was a twinkle in their eye.
Were they discussing something specific about handwriting?
Yes, they were
Do you remember
specifically
that?
speaking. Yeah, I clearly remember. They were speaking about handwriting traits. And they said that we can really understand a person's thought process just looking at their handwriting. When the topic started was like, they were speaking about signature, that certain signatures, going in the upward direction signify that the person is positive. If it is going downwards, it shows that a person is pessimistic or a negative person. And they were also speaking about if you write your full name and you write your first initial, what does that signify and all. So it made me very
That made you
curious.
curious.
Yes. So I spoke to them and he explained to me. When I told him this, I feel this is my career, so they really took it very seriously. And they guided me that which institute I should visit and who could be a good, good mentor for me and all those things. You won't believe, within 15 days, I took up this course. I started researching about it. And I felt that this is going to be my career.
How long was this course?
This took me around about, say, 6 to 8 months. But I did a research of 3 years in this. Okay.
That is after your course.
After my course. But I'll tell you, since 2 decades have passed, I really feel that today is also is a learning process and still I'm learning. Okay. This is, of course, my career, but very few people on this globe get an opportunity to follow their passion. And I am one of them.
Yeah.
I really feel myself blessed that Almighty has given me this opportunity, and last 25 years I am in this profession now.
When you were doing your research, you said you underwent formal training and you did a research of almost 2 or 3 years. Do you remember very clearly snippets from those 3 years? A few cases or a few things, techniques in graphology or handwriting analysis that that made you fall deeply in love with this profession and made you more curious about what it has to offer?
Yes. See, I'll tell you, I very clearly remember one case wherein there was some theft. Okay. And I was able to exactly identify that person. Okay. In an organization. I had around about 50 odd samples of handwriting, and I could pick up few clues in 4 to 5 writing, but I zeroed down to one person, and exactly he turned out to be the person who had committed this crime.
This makes me curious. You said you had 50 samples of handwriting of those people who are probable thieves, so to say.
No, I would not say as thieves, because in a corporate they took everybody's handwriting sample
Yeah.
because they were not sure who is the one.
So how did you go about eliminating? Maybe let's go and try and understand how handwriting is developed, right? So can you tell us more about how handwriting is developed and how it mirrors the traits, or is it the other way around, where the way your strokes are in a handwriting develops your traits in your life?
Yeah. Firstly, let me tell you how did I solve this case.
Okay.
This is very interesting. I made them write everybody a sentence that from morning 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. In the afternoon, where were you all when
On that day.
on that day when the theft took place? And exactly the person who has committed the crime, there will be a big fight between his conscious and subconscious mind. And that's where I was able to identify the culprit.
So typically in cases like these, the person who is obviously the culprit, what do they what do they write? Do you remember what happened in that case? Or,
Yeah. I told them that you write about your daily schedule, that what time did you wake up and what time you reached the organization, and between 10 to 12 what activities you were doing. So when the person exactly who committed the crime, when he comes in that 2 3 lines, when he mentions, okay, at 10 a.m. I was here there. So we have our own study of parameters, wherein we call it as a baseline. Technical language, we call it as a baseline. There will be lot of disturbances in his baselines. It will go up and down. And when he exactly came to that period, the spacing between the two words increased drastically.
what does spacing between two words
Simple.
indicate in
Simple. When
in
you're
graphology?
writing, and there are two words like but, if, he, and did. Example. So the spacing from the normal handwriting will increase
Hmm. Hmm.
between two words, not two alphabets or two letters.
But then does that mean that if the spacing is higher, then that person is taking unusually long time to think about
Absolutely, because
where he was or what he was doing?
when he comes to that situation, he wants to hide himself.
So this makes me curious. When our handwriting typically starts to develop, when let us say we are in our school and we are in our first standard and second standard, our handwriting really is either clear or is it not clear. How early in life would a graphologist be able to uh, surely tell about various things in a person's handwriting? And is it a direct mirror of the traits that person has?
See, I tell you very frankly, we don't touch a handwriting sample below 13 years.
13 years.
When a child attains the age of 14, that's the best time to take his or her handwriting sample and analyze. Because from the age of 1 to 7, the brain is developing.
Okay.
And 7 to 14, he will try to grasp things around, learn new techniques, learn new things. So, we usually give time for the child's brain to develop.
Okay.
The youngest child for whom we provide graphotherapy, the graphotherapy is something where improvement or development is concerned,
Yeah.
is 9 years and above.
Okay.
But if you want to do somebody's analysis, it is 14 years and above.
But can you talk more about how traits are developed? I mean, these are so how does a handwriting change over time, and how does it mirror different things about that person's
See,
life?
basically, if you notice, your handwriting in the school will not be similar what was in college, and if you check your handwriting when you are working was completely different.
True.
Okay, so handwriting changes every 5 years. This is my research. Okay. Every 5 years, this your writing will change, not to a great extent, but certain changes which will take place around you in your life will be reflected in your handwriting. So what we do is, we exactly, suppose if I have taken your sample now, I also prefer asking that, do you have your old notes or written something 5 years prior? Can you get that also? That is one thing. Secondly, when a person, as I said, is 14 years and above and he and she writes, we get the exact picture of the brain, what exactly is going on in his or her thought process. So I don't have to think much, because going behind, like going in the past, is very easy for me. Understanding the present situation and guiding them for the future. On these three parameters, graphology works.
Okay. So does graphology have a lot to do about the subconscious mind? I remember you said subconscious mind in the case that you spoke about.
Yeah, definitely, because 90% of the work is of the subconscious mind. Whatever is stored in your subconscious mind, it comes to your conscious mind. Conscious mind is like a gatekeeper to the subconscious mind,
Right.
which is only 10%.
Right.
And using the median of fingers, whatever is stored in your thought process comes on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
That's how a handwriting analysis is able to read your personality.
And can you also mentioned about graphotherapy, where you start to help people to change certain things about themselves. So then, is it true to say, is it accurate to say that when you teach them different things via graphotherapy, and I would love to know more about what graphotherapy is about, do you help them change the imprints in their subconscious mind ultimately?
See, it is subconscious, conscious, and handwriting. So I give them therapy in a reverse direction wherein handwriting, conscious and subconscious comes into picture.
Okay.
So the strokes, the way you write as designed by me will help you to change one single trait in your subconscious mind.
Can you give us examples about certain letters?
Yeah. Say for example, there is a loop in D.
Loop in D.
D.
The letter D, delta.
Delta. I'm not speaking about anything about capital letters. I'm talking about cursive letters or small writing, which we say. If there is a loop in D in your cursive writing, you will be highly emotional. For example, it says a sensitivity towards self criticism. If I criticize you on your personal clothing, that will also hurt you a lot. Okay? Wherein vice versa, the person who doesn't have a loop in D, it signifies that the person has nothing to do where sensitivity towards criticism is concerned. I'll explain you how this trait basically works. If you are having a loop in D and I criticize you, you will being hurt so much that you will carry that thought process for next 3 days. So you are hampering not only your present day, but the coming 3 days.
Okay.
Because you are sensitive.
Yeah.
And you know what happens is people easily can judge around you that this person is sensitive and he or she can take you for a ride.
Yeah.
So I always work on such traits wherein others should not understand your weak points and take you for a ride.
I remember coming to you a couple of years ago and solving your worksheets. Some of my letters are definitely different since then, but I remember you had taught a different kind of an H. Your H has a beautiful loop in it when you write that letter. What does H? I mean, I just remembered that letter. So,
see, I'll tell you.
What do the loops in the letters signify? In any letter, you spoke about D, but if we compare it with an H,
yeah, I'll tell you. L and H should have a loop. Okay. L is for London, H is for hat. L and H should have a loop. T and D should not have a loop.
Why is that?
Yeah. D stands for sensitivity towards self-criticism. For example, I criticize you, that's self-criticism. And a loop in T, that's a top.
Yeah.
A loop in T signifies criticism towards ideas. If we 4 of them are sitting in a meeting, you have a loop in T. Okay? You come up with a bright idea. Of course, when we are in a meeting, we will try to give our viewpoint or give our ideas. And as a boss or as a higher authority, I put you off saying that this will not work for the organization. Or I say some kind of word which really will hurt you. So next time, you will never ever come with any bright idea, though it is in the benefit of the company, because you feel that this people will always criticize you. So that fear of being criticized in front of people can stop your growth. Okay, that is where I work specifically on L and H to give you a loop and T and D to remove the loops.
So then the reverse is also true, that if you correct somebody's L and H or D via graphotherapy, then these traits change, which means that they become less emotional, less self-critical, self-loathing, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I'll just tell you. A human body is divided in graphology into 3 parts. One is upper zone, middle zone, and lower zone.
Okay.
Okay.
A human body.
Yeah.
Okay.
From viewpoint of graphology, I'm saying. Okay. Now, upper zone is the head, the thinking process. The middle zone is the stomach, the eating process. And below the waist is your lower zone, where you have your sexual drive and the urges to earn money.
And this is every letter has this top, middle, and lower.
No. I'll tell you. L, H, T, and D are related to all upper zone.
Okay.
A, O, M is related to middle zone. Okay. And Y, G, Z are related to lower zone. So which letter will fall in which category, we accordingly design the graphotherapy. and make you practice accordingly to for number of days. For example, if I want to work on your memory, the days will be like 45 days to 90 days. I'm just giving an example. And if I want to work on the lower zone, the days will be 90 to 120 days. So a single alphabet will be corrected for these many days on graphotherapy sheets.
Oh, and only after that then traits may have a greater probability of changing in a way.
But no, it will definitely change.
Have you ever analyzed your own handwriting, doctor? What did you learn about it?
I I I tried it initially when I was doing my course and all those things, but I came to a conclusion that when I sit to analyze my own writing, I will have all goody thoughts and I'll be biased. So I said, if you know specifically a heart surgeon cannot operate on himself.
True.
The same is with the graphologist.
True. So now things about lying and being deceptive. Can handwriting reveal if somebody is lying or is deceptive, or can it detect hidden emotions which are very difficult to detect in even through conversations?
Yes. I'll share a live example with you. What happened is many a times I tried to write something where I know that this is not the truth and I'm trying to write it just to forge it and show it that I am speaking the truth. But the beauty of handwriting analysis or graphology is I was not able to write that trait. So that's one strong reason that I believe in this science that you cannot do manipulations.
Okay.
Even though you are aware of this traits.
And if anybody is manipulating, I think you also, do you focus on how large the sample is, so that
See, I'll tell you.
you can for sure say that it is, you can get an accurate reading out of it.
What happens is first 7 lines are ruled by your conscious mind. But after the 8th line, the subconscious mind will take over. So all the facts are revealed. That's the reason I ask people to write 15 to 20 lines.
What about signature, doctor? How is analyzing a signature very different from from analyzing a handwriting sample?
See, our audience might not be aware that signature holds a very important significance where your finances are concerned.
Okay.
So, the way the signature is being practiced or written also has an impact on your financial growth.
Okay.
That's why we have a signature makeover.
What are the traits, if you can
Yeah,
tell me?
sure. If a person is only writing his or her name and not writing the full name, like his father's initial or the signature, surname in the signature, it signifies that the person is not able to achieve or complete whatever he or she wants to do in life.
But does it also, I mean, I'm going on a different tangent, but if a particular person is not signing with their father's name, or let us say they're signing with their mother's name instead, does it also talk about their relation with either of the parents and so on?
Yes, definitely. The first letter of your surname signifies your relation with a female figure in the house.
The first letter of your surname and how you're writing it
Yes,
in
the
your
pattern.
signature.
The pattern. How I'm writing is it? Is it capital? It is written in a capital format. Is it written in a lowercase or it is written in a lowercase, middle case?
So what does it mean if it is in a capital format?
Suppose a person is writing his or her surname. Suppose the surname is say Kulkarni. Okay, the first letter, that is a K, is written in capital. It will show what relationship he or she is sharing with a female figure in house.
So is it generally favorable or is it?
Yeah, I'll
how
tell
is
you.
it? Yeah.
Suppose if it is written in a lower case, I mean in a small pattern,
yeah.
it shows that they don't share that healthy relationship.
So talking about signatures, doctor, can we discuss signatures of famous people?
Yes, we can speak.
What about President of America?
Yes, we can speak about Donald Trump.
Okay. What does his signature tell you?
See, just last week I saw him, doing his signature when our own Prime Minister Narendra Modi had visited America. He was doing some signature on some paper and just giving it to him. So I observed, even prior to that, I had done a deep study about his signature. He is very aggressive where decisions are concerned. Okay. But one is speaking about and taking action on the same. For example, okay, I speak, I'll do these things, but am I doing it practically? That's the difference what I observed in his signature. He will speak a lot of things, okay, but he will not implement all.
Okay.
Okay. And certain things, if he speaks, like he's going to take some decisions where, aggressive decisions, which is not good for the world or for the globe, he might speak that, but he will not get into action.
Right.
Okay. Because somewhere I feel that he also has that, what you say, emotional thought process, that things cannot be based on aggression and practical decisions.
Okay.
So then he might step back.
Okay.
So this is what I have observed in his own signature.
What about signature of, let us say, JRD Tata?
Our late JRD Tata.
Late JRD Tata.
Yes. I saw a very peculiar trait about Sir, that he was really workaholic.
Okay.
Sleep was not mandatory for him for say like 6 to 8 hours what we sleep. He can just sleep for 2 hours, charge himself and get back to work.
Were there any particular letters in his signature that made you
Yes, the initials,
think it that way?
the initials of his name and the way he did his signature gave me an idea about his professional life.
Okay. Okay.
Not only being workaholic, but at the same time being attentive and research oriented thought process. This is what Sir carried with him.
What about signatures of criminals, serial killers or terrorists? You were telling me that once you had analyzed signatures of terrorists. Can you?
Yeah. Now, 9/11. Okay. I had got printouts. It's available on the net also about handwriting samples of these terrorists, and I could see that where upper zone, that is the thought process, is concerned, they all had a pilferage. They had a break, which according to graphology signifies like a short circuit. Okay. And when these traits are seen in a writing, the person will turn out to be a criminal or have a negative trait or think about destruction.
Dr. Pande, have you ever solved a crime case using handwriting analysis? Can you tell us more about it?
Yes, definitely. There's one interesting case which took place in the year 2017.
Okay.
It was a corporate case.
Huh.
In that case, this employee had given his handwriting sample
Okay.
in 2016, and on an open platform, I had a seminar for them.
Okay.
So in that session, I told the CEO of the company to take care of that employee.
Okay. This was an open session.
Open session.
Okay.
Okay. So I was not able to discuss much openly, but I felt that there is something wrong in this handwriting sample.
Okay.
Okay. I gave them a hint. And in 2017, he did a very big fraud in the organization. And then he knew that he was not able to pay back or give it, so he committed suicide.
Okay. Wow. What happened next?
So they were all surprised that Manish had already mentioned looking at the handwriting sample. So then they immediately called me and they said that, did you see all these traits? I said yes. And through this, they got a lot of clues. And then when we analyzed his handwriting in a deeper way, I was able to guide the corporate in much more better way.
Right. What about law enforcement agencies? There are so many crimes happening around us. Can graphology also help law enforcement agencies to crack cases? Can you,
Yes,
do you
yes.
recall any particular case?
Yes, I'll tell you. Now we are getting in touch with lot of departments in America also,
Mm-hmm.
wherein we are telling them that you get cases to us
Yeah.
and we will solve them through handwriting analysis.
Yeah.
So we have started this process, and yes, law enforcement in the past have taken my services,
Okay.
and I've helped them in solving cases.
Okay.
But being it confidential,
You cannot share more
I
details.
cannot share more
understand.
details about it.
Doctor, have you solved any childhood trauma cases with graphotherapy? Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, definitely I have done it. I clearly remember I was doing my masters
Mm.
uh, from my college,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a classmate whose analysis also I was doing and guiding her.
Okay.
So, in that, I could identify that she had a childhood trauma.
Okay.
That trauma was exactly that when she was in school,
Mm-hmm.
one of her professors had molested her,
Mm-hmm.
which she had never discussed with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, I asked her very clearly, and she was into tears.
Hmm.
And she says, since 25 years, I am not able to get out of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I identified the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Through graphotherapy, I walked to that pathway, to that age again back in her life, rectified that trauma forever, and got her ahead.
So you were seeing those problems in certain letters again, and which
Yes,
which you helped her correct.
Yes, I could see it in certain letters, and that's how we rectified.
Are there some specific letters that you can talk about related to this for our listeners?
Yeah.
Where there would be many parents who are watching this episode, and they would also they could pick up these traits in handwritings of their children. So any particular letters that clearly show these traits?
See, letter G will definitely show you this
Okay.
one trait first. Then, in combination, we always check traits in combination.
Okay.
So, there is letter G, there is letter A, there is letter O, there is letter K, and R.
What is so peculiar about these letters in such cases?
Yeah. A will signify about your day to day activities.
Okay.
So, what has happened with her is a clue for me. Secondly, letter K stands for romance. So, romance is a good feeling, wherein molestation is a negative trait. Okay. So, that gives me an idea that how in future she will accept these things. Letter R will speak about your relationship with people around.
Okay.
Okay. Letter M will speak that how did you handle that situation.
Okay.
Okay. So many a times a person becomes self-conscious or starts thinking a lot about the future because at past certain instances are happened. So she tries to be overcautious also at times.
Yeah.
So these all letters will speak about that incident.
Okay. So, doctor, it seems that handwriting analysis can be useful to a great deal in the recruitment process of a corporate. I'm sure you've seen these cases in your career. Can you talk to us about them?
Yes, recruitment is something which is very crucial.
Okay.
Because after analyzing, the organization takes decision on your report.
True.
Okay. So many a times it so happens that I inform the organization that if there is certain medical ailments this person is going to face in the future.
Oh.
Okay. I'll just share one case
Sure.
wherein one organization we had done this recruitment drive, and I could clearly see that this person could be infected by HIV in the future.
Wow.
So I had given them a signal saying that we should be cautious.
Uh-huh.
Secondly, what medical ailments their parents are facing, even that thing can be clearly stated from handwriting.
Yeah.
Okay. If a person is accident prone, I have informed a lot of organizations that this person is more of accident prone.
Yeah.
Accidents could be of any type.
Yeah.
So when I submit a report to a corporate, then that is their wish to consider it or not, where recruitment is concerned.
Correct.
Say, for example, if they wish to recruit or not, but the statements which I give are really beneficial from many aspects to the corporate.
Yeah. Does graphotherapy also offer an indirect way of predictions? So, for example, let us say a family member is not well, and you take a handwriting sample of somebody who is a close caregiver. Can you indirectly predict the health of that person? Can indirectly
Yes,
is it revealing
yes,
in an indirect
yes,
way also?
yes, many a times. I'll tell you, I always feel that the subconscious mind is running ahead of time.
Okay.
Okay. So when you write on a piece of paper, I get a glimpse of what is going to happen next.
Oh,
Because this is not nothing about future telling.
right.
Understand this. On the basis of my study, the current situation, what is going on in one's thought process,
Yes.
I ascertain what's going to happen next.
Okay.
So it's just like a guidance for the person to whom I submit the report,
Yeah.
or to guide a person who has come for individual analysis.
Correct. Doctor, you have an interesting side to you, which is about autowriting. Can we get into it?
Yes, sure.
How did autowriting come to you? What
That
is autowriting?
that's my special forte, I would say.
Okay.
In the year 2011,
Mm-hmm.
23rd Jan,
Mm-hmm.
4 p.m.,
Mm-hmm.
I lost my father.
Oh.
And that moment was like I've lost everything in my life.
Hmm.
I was really very attached to my father because I used to take guidance from him. And it was a bonding which cannot be explained.
Hmm.
I thought after that everything is over for me. The most shocking thing was he left us all of a sudden. Since childhood till the time he lived his life, he only struggled. He was a chauffeur to Mr. Zaware Punawala, and he used to drive his limousines. Sir was really kind to drive my father to his last rites in a limousine to the ghats. And that was an emotional moment for everybody. When I really think about that incident, that is always very clear in front of my eyes that Mr. Zaware Punawala really honored my father for the services what he rendered. So after that, few months passed by, say around about 5 to 6 months. Every night I used to cry and have this feeling that I should go and meet my father.
Yeah.
Even my family was surprised that what is wrong with me. And I was not able to come out of it that I've lost my father. You won't believe, I used to take my bike every day evening, go to search him on the roads that if I can see him. So you understand the level of depthness of attachment what I had for him.
True.
One day he came in my dreams and he said, "There is no need for you to come upstairs. I will communicate with you through the spirit world."
And how did you do that?
He came in my dreams
Okay.
and he guided me. I will not be that comfortable discussing about the process, what happened after that, but definitely over a period of time, I became one of the medians to communicate with the spirit world and take guidance to help the mankind.
What is it like to communicate with the spirit world? So, when you say you are a medium, how does the spirit world talk through you? And who all are there in the spirit world?
See, let me make it very simple. There is a source of energy
Okay.
who we treat like a god. Okay. Some see them in form of an idol. Okay. I see in form of energy.
Okay.
So I always believe that there is a soul that exists in a body which leaves.
Okay.
If it leaves, it has to travel somewhere.
Yeah.
So he gets into spirit world. Okay. I asked my father that why have I been chosen as one of the auto writers? So he said that I have been assigned a work upstairs to collect or to speak to all the souls, collect their problems, and I over here connect people on earth and pass on the messages.
Okay.
Okay. So that's how the whole process started. I am a blessed person wherein these powers were transferred to me, of course, by Almighty, by my Father, and that's how I started helping the mankind. If you ask me what exactly happens to me, I might not explain you in words, but when you do a session with me, you will understand much more clearly how do I communicate.
What happens during an auto writing session? Do messages from the spirit world come to you? How do you channel them?
Okay. Many a times it so happens that I use the medium of my fingers to write the messages, and the messages come through my subconscious mind, which through channeling with the spirit world are delivered to me. So when we ask them questions, they give it in writing. And that's how I'm able to pass messages to people on earth.
You're talking about the case of the missing child, a family that you helped to get a closure, and also find the missing child. How did you do that using auto writing?
I got a message on WhatsApp group that so and so child is missing from so and so place since morning 4:30 a.m. Okay. He just left the house without informing anybody where is he going. So when I received the message, I contacted this person and said I will really be a help to trace the child using the medium of auto writing. So even she was not aware, but the priority was to find out the missing child. So I sent her a link and we had a Zoom meeting wherein I exactly told her that what exactly has happened in the house, why the child has left the house, currently where is he, and when he will come back and how he will be traced. So my session took place at around about 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Within 20 minutes, she received a call and someone informed her that the child was found.
Wow.
And as Baba had mentioned that it will take 24 hours, the child has traveled to a distance of around about say 200 kilometers. So the parents would go today and get the child by tomorrow.
Wow. That must have been such a relief for the family to find their child back.
Yes. Rather than that, it was like a relief to me also, to that lady also. And I felt that really spirit world can help the mankind. That was my first feeling.
You said Meherbaba helps you through these auto writing sessions. I'm very curious to know how many people like yourself, how many mediums of Meherbaba are there in the entire world, and what is his purpose to connect via mediums like you? Um,
The information what I have got is there are round about 9 auto writers.
okay, in
What?
the entire world,
Yeah, in the
and
entire
you're
world.
one of them.
Yeah, what I am
That's a privilege.
aware. Yeah, it is. I really feel myself as blessed. Okay, but I have always thought that I want to go do certain good deeds to
Okay.
the mankind. That is my first intention. And since 2011, after I lost my father, this process started, and I'm helping the people around the globe.
Yeah.
So, when we are given certain powers, they also come with certain responsibilities.
True.
So when we shoulder certain responsibilities and act accordingly by the will of Meherbaba or Almighty,
Mm-hmm.
I always feel that the powers are enhanced and they are giving you much more and more opportunities to help people over here.
Because good deeds bring back good results and more
Absolutely.
good deeds. Yeah.
I always feel my karmic account
Hmm.
is loaded.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to think about my bank balance account.
Mm-hmm.
Because more important is your karmic account rather than what wealth you are carrying.
Mm.
I always feel that I have taken birth, so this is my school. I am here to learn certain experiences, understand how the working of the earth is like, and after finishing taking the desired knowledge, I'll go back
True.
after I finish my journey.
Dr. Pandey, you have been blessed with the gift of Autowriting, where you are a medium for Meherbaba. In my life, I have met a few more people who are also gifted in various ways. Um, I've met somebody who is a clairaudient, somebody who can hear to messages and can tell or hear to your voice and tell about a person's past, present, and future. Similarly, there are clairvoyants who can see and then they can tell about past, present, and future. You are talking about a field that is a little new to me. So I really wanted to understand, when you sit for an auto writing session, what does how do these messages from the spirit world get channelized via you? Can you tell us more about it?
Okay, now I'll ask you a question.
Hmm.
You have done an auto session with me.
Yes.
Do you feel that you got your answers?
I did get my answers and I saw that you were getting messages via your hand. But what I want to know is what happens within you when these messages are being channeled via your hand.
Okay. Basically, when I am in a process of channelizing with the spirit world, the messages come through my subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
The median are my fingers,
Mm-hmm.
and everything is handwritten.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a layman's language, let me tell you that I feel that someone holds my hands and writes it.
Does it feel that somebody has taken over you
Absolutely.
and you're continuously writing?
Writing.
Dr. Pandey, sometimes in life, family members leave without without any notice. You mentioned the story of your father. In such cases, do you have stories where you have helped families get closure with their dear ones who are now deceased, who are no longer there on this earthly plane? Can you tell us about some stories like these?
I have a very lovely experience to share. 6 months back, I was traveling to Bangalore for some work. So, a friend of mine met his friend saying that Manish is going to be in Bangalore, so do you wish to do an auto session?
Okay.
So he was unaware, as people are. So he explained, and this person said, yes, I would like to speak to my father because I lost him during COVID.
Okay.
He said that my father was doing some signals with his hand that he wanted to speak to me, but I was not able to communicate because he was in the ICU and we were not allowed to go inside.
Right.
So when we did a session, his father gave him an indication saying that you need to take care of the family after I'm gone. This was the message what he wanted to receive.
Mm-hmm.
And plus their personal talks, whatever happened between father and son, helped him to get closure. And he said, now I am totally relaxed and I don't feel anything is left where I would like to communicate with my father.
Wow.
And I got a closure.
That is so amazing. Dr. Pandey, do you see spirits?
this is a very interesting question. Rather than seeing spirits, I feel I communicate with them. So, yes, at times, but I don't specifically enhance or would like to say that I see spirits. I would rather say I would love to communicate using the medium of handwriting.
Have you communicated with the spirit?
Yes, this would be the right question. Yes, I have communicated because many a times that's the mode where they would like to explain or speak to me.
The question that is lingering on my mind is that a lot of spirits, a lot of people are stuck as spirits on this earthly plane, and they're not getting a clearance to move to the other world, or Eastern philosophy might describe it as moksha. Do you also help spirits to cross over?
Yes, many a times I've done that.
Can you tell us a story about this?
Yeah, I'll tell you. This incident had taken place in Chennai. Okay. The actual incident is about the Bangalore, but which happened in Chennai.
Okay.
There was a boy of age 16 or 17 and he was into a relationship with a girl.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a teenager, they both were going together, and then suddenly this girl found love in some other person. That really disturbed this boy, and he committed suicide. So, when I met this lady, I observed that she was going through a lot of stress in her marital life and other things. So she said, why all these things are happening with me? And I went to the root cause, what exactly had happened. And that time I understood that this person who committed suicide was really disturbed because of this person. So this lady was not able to get things right in her life. Then I acted as a median between the two. Okay, whatever they wanted to speak uh, was clarified, and he said, I would like to get out of this situation now. So you need to do food donation on my behalf so I can get mukti or I can leave this plane.
And then did the spirit leave the plane?
Yes. While going time, he said a very touching line. He drew a rose and he said, this rose is from my garden and next life I will get married to you.
Wow. So what is the lesson in these messages? I mean, even though the body is no longer there,
The message
we
is,
carry the emotions and the tendencies and all our inclinations,
see the
and we don't
message,
leave till the deed is done.
yeah, the message is very clear saying that love is the most important part on this globe. Okay? Before betraying or breaking anybody's trust, you should think 10 times. Because you never know what that person is facing. You do your deeds, you move on. You're not aware it is right or wrong. But then, over a period of time, somebody else has to pay for it.
Dr. Pandey, a question which is probably there in everybody's mind is, where does one go after they die? Do spirits tell you what it is like to be in the stage post death?
See,
What do they do there?
I'll explain you in a very simple language. I asked my father, where are you? Okay? He just answered me in one line that you are staying on ground floor and I am staying on first floor. This was his answer. A very simple way, and I understood what he wanted to say.
Do souls reincarnate immediately after their birth is over?
No, they take certain period of time. The period could be between 5 to 7 years
Okay.
as per their karmic account or whatever they have done. There is quite possible chances that they might incarnate or they might not. So that all depends on individual.
But do they ever decide sometimes not to reincarnate at all?
Yes. They say that they will fulfill whatever they want to do staying upstairs. I have come across such souls.
Is there a story that you would like to share?
Of course, about my father.
Hmm.
When I asked him, will you take rebirth? He said no.
Hmm.
But he says, when you finish your journey, his attachment between me and him is so much that he says, I will stay with you upstairs. And looking at this kind of love and bonding, Meherbaba has granted this permission for this father and son to stay upstairs together when I go up.
When you finally go up. Lovely. Dr. Pandey, you are an interesting man. So I'm getting more curious here. When you sleep at night, do you dream?
I would like to share one lovely incident.
Okay.
Have you heard people crying in their dreams?
Yes.
Okay. Do
Or even laughing or doing other things.
right, laughing, running, many things. In my case, what happened once is I was really sobbing
Okay.
when I was asleep. And my mother thought, what is happening with me? So I could only see in that dream that my father came to leave me, okay, saying that he left me at one spot, you go, I have some work, I'll finish and come home. So,
But your father was deceased
yes,
and you saw him in your dream.
I saw this in my dream. So, next day I got curious, I thought I should speak to him. When I spoke to him, he told me
Via Autowriting.
via Autowriting, yes. So now when I speak to him, it is, it is like I'm speaking to you.
I know.
It is
I know.
that
It
way
is
for
so
me.
natural to you.
So natural to me, yeah.
Yeah.
So when I spoke to him, he said, last night when your soul traveled and came up, you tightly hugged me. And you told me that you don't want to go down.
Okay.
So,
Wait, how does a soul travel?
okay.
Do all our souls travel or is it only special to you?
No. Everyone, each and every soul travels when they are in deep sleep. There is a silver pipe which is attached to your nabi.
Okay.
So when you are in deep sleep, your soul travels up in the spirit world where your ancestors, your loved ones, caress you or give you that love, peace, whatever. So I'll also share how does the soul come back. Okay. So when I spoke to my father, he said, you came and you tightly hugged me and you said you don't want to go down. So from a distance, Meherbaba was watching all these things, he said. So he said that when he saw that bonding between father and son and that attachment, he said, when Manish finishes his journey on earth, I will give an opportunity for you both to stay upstairs together. That feeling was very different. That was like full of bliss and happiness that again I will get an opportunity to be with my father, which cannot be expressed in words.
True.
Many a times, even you might feel in your dreams that someone has given you a jerk and you are falling from up.
Yes.
That is how the soul travels back in a body.
Sometimes dreams feel real than the real life that we live on the earth. What does one make out of it?
See, many a times I have decoded people's dream who have come to me and explained their dream by doing an auto session.
Can you tell us an example?
One person regularly used to get the similar dream of a similar type and situation.
Okay.
He said, I'm not able to understand what it is. I listened to his story and then we did an auto session.
Okay.
He was getting the dream again and again and again because there was something in the past which he wanted to donate, but he was not able to do it in that lives. So that dreams was coming and asking him to do in this life. Once when he does it, lot of things will change for him in a positive way.
So every dream has a story to tell, and maybe there is a resolution in every dream, and you can help to
I
find what it means,
Yes,
perhaps.
yes. But I would not say every dream, but I would say certain specific dream when a person is sobbing or he's laughing or whatever is happening in a dream, he sees a pictorial,
Or if it is repeating,
yes. Or if he or she gets repeated dreams,
then you can.
yes.
Dr. Pandey, what do the spirits tell you about free will? Is there free will in the world?
Uh, See, when I asked them, they said yes. They just told me two things about it. They say that you get an opportunity, you encash it, you do good deeds or you do bad deeds. Simple. Free will works on same lines. You have been given a will, right? Now, how you channelize that will or get into action depends solely on you. You think that you will make good use of a free will, so it will add to positive karmic account. If you do it negative, it will add to negative.
Karmic account.
Simple. I always say that if a free will is given, use it only and only in a positive way. This is what is my personal experience since the time I'm doing auto writing.
Why do you think you were chosen to do auto writing? There are 8 billion souls in the world, but there are 8 or 9 auto writers, like you said. Why did this come to you?
I also have this question. But definitely, I feel that I might have done some good deeds in my past lives. So God has chosen me. But once I asked this to my father,
Okay.
okay, the answer what he gave is, he said, I am also being chosen upstairs to do this work. And you, as my son, Meherbaba has decided that you both, father and son, will do this
We'll
work.
do the work together. Dr. Pandey, has it ever happened that when you are doing an auto writing session and you are calling a particular spirit, a different spirit has come in to speak with you?
It has never happened because I'll tell you, I have got a cloak or a protection. Though my body is open to souls because they communicate through me, but that cloak will protect me from negative souls, and the work I'm doing is good. So always the same soul comes which I have called upon.
So every work we do on this earthly plane has an energetic stamp on it, and the higher the energy, the cloak is there to protect you from all the
See,
evil energies which might be there around you.
I'll explain in a very simple way. A child is missing. My thought process is to find the child. There is no personal gain what I'm thinking about, and I've helped a child and I've got results. I've done this. If I use the same thing to understand between a cricket match who is going to win or what, some money I'll make out of it or something, so then these powers will not work.
There's a very interesting thing that a non-dual teacher online, Rupert Spira, says about this. He says that the universe always fulfills impersonal desires. So far as not you're not using the powers for personal gains, the universe is ready to fulfill those desires. I think that is exactly what you said right now.
Yes.
That
I see. This I have never ever told anybody. This is the first time ever in my life I'm going to tell you. I always pray to universe to make me Robin Hood in real life. You know what Robin Hood used to do?
you tell us your perspective.
Robin Hood used to extract money from the rich and help the poor.
Correct.
In today's era and this yug, I want to be Robin Hood. I always tell this to Mother Universe and to the higher realms spirit world. So, when there is no selfish thought of doing something and my intention is very pure, definitely the universe make these things happen.
True. In an auto writing session, do souls or spirits make themselves heard very clearly through some peculiar messages? How would one know? The question is, how would one know whether the correct soul has appeared and you're talking to the soul that you intended to talk to?
I always tell people don't test the soul. The minute you test the soul will go away. But the soul will give you such answers that you will come to know that it is from your loved ones or your deceased who has left. They will have a conversation or they will strike something which only you and the soul is aware. So you need not test them. They will do it their way to show that they have come. It's a very good example is I remembered I finished an auto session with I won't say client, but some of the friends had come and I finished an auto session. But the soul wanted to still give a message. That was that person's mother. And she came and then she did a session and again gave him certain messages which he got to know that she is a mother.
Oh wow! So positive news was given.
Yes. Not only positive news, but I think it was her birthday that was coming, and then she said that, I do my gardening work and all those things, something, and then she said, this is a rose for you, my child.
Doctor, this is also fascinating. Do you also do predictions?
Yes, definitely I do.
Should we do a few predictions?
Yes, definitely.
Can you tell us what Baba told you about the world? Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
We are living in the world of artificial intelligence. In these coming years, who do you think is going to rule the world in terms of the technology they have?
I clearly got a message from Baba that India and China are going to be really powerful where artificial intelligence is concerned, and they'll rule the world. The future says that United States of America will borrow or ask for our technology to be used in America.
Wow. This year, Doctor, and I was going through your Twitter feed also, has seen quite a few earthquakes already. Is there more in store in 2025?
I'm really scared that you will experience so many earthquakes this year which you have never ever seen in the past. To name a few of them, there are possible earthquakes that will strike north of India, that is Delhi, NCR, Himachal Pradesh, Shimla, okay, Rajasthan, even some parts of Telangana. So yes, abroad it is like California, Seattle, Boston. Even in Japan and China will not be spared. I also see having an earthquake in Australia.
In the near future?
Yes,
Oh, careful.
careful.
Doctor, can you tell us about the future of the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia also?
Yeah, people have to be careful about tsunami in Bay of Bengal.
Okay.
And I see a lot of problems taking place in Bangladesh, internal as well as external.
Okay.
Okay. There's a volcano eruption I can see in Japan and Fiji Islands. Water entering Philippines. And also earthquakes taking place in Pakistan and China in the near future.
We just came out of a pandemic. Is there a chance of another pandemic?
Yes, I can very clearly see.
Will it be airborne again?
Uh, Quite possible. It will be airborne, and it will be much more terrible than what had happened in the year 2020.
With so much happening in the world, how can people protect themselves? How can people save themselves?
See, I got a message from Meherbaba is you need to turn towards spirituality. You have to be more spiritual. According to me, spirituality or being spiritual is not reading books or praying or, going and offering flowers or doing such things in the temple. Okay, that is one part. But doing good deeds will definitely help you in your spiritual journey to grow and at the same time to be safe on this universe. And that should really come from within. It's not that I am saying and you all are doing it, no. And that should really come from within. It's not that I am saying and you all are doing it, no.
Thank you, Dr. Pande, for coming over on the InnoTalks podcast. So, Dr. Pande, we have one last thing to do. At InnoTalks, we have a ritual where every guest signs on our guest board. So, I'm going to hand over a pen to you, and we would really love your best wishes for the podcast.